Okay, so as I mentioned, this was the end of step 1. In order to get to step 2, we're going to need our graphic organizer. And this is just a way that we can kind of decide what's going to go where and kind of to get it to flow the right way. So really, you're writing a 4-paragraph paper, right? It's not very much. You have your intro, body 1, body 2, conclusion, all right? But I'm not even going to write those on there because to me that's not really important. What is important is that the phone is ringing right now. And I'm going to decline it because this is more important. So, there are only 2 things that I want in your intro paragraph. I want a hook, something to get my attention, and I want your thesis. Well, we haven't really worked on the hook yet, so let's just skip that part. But we have worked on a thesis, right? We have it right here. It's highlighted right here. So I'm going to write down what we wrote. Cell phones should not be allowed in school because, and then here are my 2 reasons, they cause distractions and cause problems. Perfect. Boom. That's done. So we just need one more sentence up here, but we're going to come back to the hook. Sometimes you have to end where you start. All right. So this paragraph is going to be reason 1. This paragraph is going to be reason 2. And just to kind of remind myself, I'm going to write the word distraction above it because everything in here is going to be about distraction. And I'm going to write problem up here. Now, my kids often ask me, Sneas, how do I know what to write about in this body paragraph? And it's really easy. I'm going to give you an acronym, which is a bunch of letters put together to make a word, but they each mean something. So you can write this down. T, E, E, S, T. So really, your paragraph is really just going to be 5 sentences. The first sentence is going to be your topic sentence. That really is just your first reason. All right? So, let's start off real basic and say the same thing that we said up here. Cell phones should not be allowed in school because they are a distraction. That's exactly what we said. Boom. Your topic sentence is done. The second E, or the first E, is for example. And what's really cool is that we already gave ourselves a bunch of examples. We put them in boxes here. So I would just pick an example that I really like. And I'm going to say, let's go to texting. Because I think texting is really a big reason why kids get distracted. So I'm going to say a good example of how cell phones can distract is by texting. Boom, that's it. Now I have my example. So I have my topic. I said, hey, we shouldn't have cell phones because they're a distraction. And a good example of how cell phones can distract is by texting. Now, you can word it any way you want. Don't use my words. All the same. But the next E is how you have to explain. This is what the paper's really all about. How does texting being a distraction mean things shouldn't be in the cell phone shouldn't be in school? Well, When texting, kids often get off topic and don't pay attention. Boom. Now you just explained why texting is bad. Because kids get off topic. They don't pay attention. Now, this S is super tricky, but you're going to get it because I know you're awesome. The word is synthesis. All right? Synthesis just means why it's important. Check this out. So we said that cell phones shouldn't be in class because they're a distraction. We gave a good example of it was texting. We showed how texting could be a distraction because kids don't get to pay attention. But why is that important? Check this out. When kids don't pay attention, they get yelled at or written up or even bad grades. And you may say to yourself, well, why is that important? And I'm going to give another sentence just to kind of show why that's important. This in turn, or this shows that okay, let's go back. So they get the bad grades, right? You get the bad grades. When kids get bad grades, they then start to hate school. Why? Because it becomes a waste of time and says they are bad. The last T, okay, is going to be for transition. It took me forever to think of, but it's going to be for transition. Probably because people are in here now. All right, but that's okay. So transition basically means just going from one place to another, right? So if you're going to go from your house to a party, the transition is going to be the ride between there, right? When you get in the car and you drive down the street and then finally getting there. So you want to have a good transition from this paragraph of cell phones being a distraction to how they then become a problem. When you get too many distractions, it becomes a problem. All right, so I've shown you real fast how to do one paragraph, right? What you're going to do for the next, I don't know, about 10, maybe 15 minutes is you're going to do the same thing, but you're going to do it for how cell phones are problems. And if you need examples of how cell phones are problems, we got fights, we have theft, we have self-esteem, we have bullying, we have ADHD. You can go in any one of those directions. However, the one thing I want you to do is to make sure you do teased, right? Topic, sentence, example, explain, synthesis, and transition. All right? I hope this has helped a little bit. I'll talk to you real fast about it afterwards, and then we'll see where it goes from there. Thanks a lot.